If you've been paying attention to the young people of Africa, you would have noticed some kind of fashion revolution going on, right? With the rise of luxury and streetwear brands all over the continent, and it's absolutely amazing. Prominent publications like Vogue, GQ, and Glamour have certainly taken an interest in this movement. And yes, it is a movement, and I truly believe so. Young entrepreneurs today don't just start their businesses for cold, hard profits. Instead, they use their entrepreneurship as a channel for positive change in the world. An idea that would have been a little outlandish before the age of social media. I have been interested in this kind of entrepreneurship for a while now, and if you follow me on my channel, you are going to realize that I've been talking about entrepreneurship since 2014. And so when the opportunity to talk about one of the leading voices in this space arose, of course I jumped on it. And so I am so excited to have a conversation with nATAI's founder and creative director, Nyasha Johnson. But before that, I'm just going to indulge myself and get some incredible pieces from her website. And guess what? This founder is based in Zimbabwe, believe it or not. So it's going to be an amazing journey. So come on with me, let's do some shopping and join Nyasha at the studio. Hey Nyasha, thank you so much for having me in your studio. I'm so excited today about what we're going to do. You have an amazing story.
Thank you so much.
And you have an amazing brand, girl.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to come to our studio.
Yeah, and so, right, so first things first, right? I'm going to put it out there. This girl has got this amazing studio. All these pieces you're going to see today are all made from scratch. Yet, I took a lot of time trying to find what I can find locally. So maybe that's a conversation for another day. But today we are going to hear, and I'm going to be wearing her clothes, and we're going to hear the story behind. So thank you so much for having me. So talk to me about the pieces you have.
All right, so we prepared your order. The first being our Trini top. This is from our new Paradise collection, which is a resort wear collection. It's pieces that you can wear on holiday, but then you can also wear them for brunch. They're not limited to the holiday only. And then these are our Ziggy pants. So these can be dressed down or dressed up.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Yes, they're called the Ziggy pants. My son is called Ziggy.
Is
so I named him after my son. So we're going to pair our Trini top with our brown Ziggy pants.
Okay, brilliant. So, and then you are going to book me a holiday as well to wear these outfits, right?
Yeah.
So thank you so much. So what's the story behind the pieces?
The story behind the pieces, I love simple and sophisticated pieces. Things that look nice, not just on one particular body type, but on people of all shapes and sizes. And I feel like the Ziggy pants are very flattering on slim people, on plus size people, and that's the same idea with the Trini top as well.
All right, that's brilliant. So I'm going to try those pieces, and I'm hoping I can try more pieces that I can take with me if you've got my sizes in stock.
Definitely.
All right, so let's go and do the trying, shall we? thank you so much, Nyasha, for this amazing outfit. I really love it. Yeah, so we finally settled for this, guys. Now, you send your comments. What do you think? This is straight from Nyasha's stock. Anyway, yeah, so what I wanted to really find out from you, right, to really get to understand how you got here. You decided to start a brand that was focusing on sustainable clothing. And it's amazing how it's the timing where we are talking about climate change and stuff like that. So it will be interesting to understand, how did you get to that point of making that decision?
So sustainability for me means two things. Firstly, I understand the devastating impact that fast fashion has on the environment. So our goal at nATAI is to create pieces that people will wear, love and cherish for years to come. That's why a lot of our pieces are made on order, in order to avoid, creating waste that ends up in landfills.
Yeah.
And secondly, sustainability for me means building a business that lasts. Absolutely. And that might involve building a strong team and coming up with strategies that will allow my brand to grow and flourish.
Absolutely, and that's an amazing goal, right? Because right now we are faced with challenges of the climate change, and we are faced with challenges of fast fashion making a terrible impact on the environment. And it's amazing how people nowadays just buy clothes to go on Instagram. Nothing wrong with Instagram, and then they're never gonna wear them again. And I think I kind of agree with you on that one, because it's very important for us to contribute positively towards our environment.
I totally agree.
So there's been a talk in recent years in the decline of the middle class in Africa, and then specific to Zimbabwe. I remember I grew up in Kadoma, by the way, Remoka Kadoma, and David Whited and Spinners were the key companies who were producing amazing products, which were cotton-based. So that was your fabric, your wool, your madoiri shinda. I used to do a lot of, I grew up doing that, and I can still do it today. And we don't have that now, right? So that means that for your production, you have to figure out how you are gonna find your sustainable fabric or raw materials for your production. And you also have to remain environmentally friendly. And I'm just wondering, how do you do it? Because as you do that, that means cost is going up. So how is this working for you?
I think that pricing as a designer in Zimbabwe can be a challenge, especially considering the state of the economy. Yeah. So, people don't have the money to spend on luxury pieces or expensive pieces, no matter how ethically or sustainably they're made. So as a business owner and a designer, I really had to just zero in and focus on a specific target market that understands and appreciates the work that we are doing. And so we end up making beautiful pieces that speak to them and that they feel are worth spending money on. Absolutely.
And would you say then you've got a good captive market that's really responding to your product?
Definitely. I feel like I have this idea of the person that I want to come to nATAI, and the people do respond.
That's absolutely amazing.
And they end up becoming return clients, and then they refer other people. So I think it's going very well.
Yeah, and I think referring to the fabric, right? So because I was looking at this top, right? It's a top that I can wear today, and I can hang it in my wardrobe, and if there is another function, I'm probably going to wear this so many times because of the quality, the feel. It's not something that I'm just gonna
wear once and throw away.
No, I don't believe in that. And I think that's how we need to start planting these seeds of the importance of understanding what we have, preserving, using what we have, and using it wisely. And then I think in the long term, the money adds up, I think, from where I sit. Right?
Yes, it really does. Yeah, we are, I feel like we're trying to, for me personally, as a designer and a brand owner, business owner, I'm really trying to train people to respect the art of making clothes.
Yeah.
There's someone who's working hard to make something that you're going to wear on your body. Someone's hard work and sweat went into that. So just throwing away, I feel like, throwing away something is so disrespectful to the craft.
Yeah.
And we need to be more appreciative of the people that make our clothes.
Yeah, and I'm going to take it back. So I remember growing up, my mom did designer and tailoring then when we were young. And because we were so poor, she would make everything that we used to wear from scratch, but she used to use my pieces. So she would go to David Whitehead and pick up a bag of those patches, right? She would make these patch blankets. I don't know if anybody remembers, right? We used to have these patch, my grandmother would call them malaslapi blankets. And we could have malaslapi dress or skirt. And I think that was a good way of preserving and working with what we have. Whereas nowadays people just think, I have to go and buy something new from the shop. And I think maybe we need to go back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in Zimbabwe and Africa in general, compared to maybe Western societies, people still do go to tailors. Yeah. So I think, yes, now we have fast fashion coming in and people are hopping onto this fast fashion trend. But I do feel as if, a lot of people have the same story as you.
Yeah.
Going to tailors or, and an example of that, you mentioned scraps. All the scraps from our clothes, all the scraps that we have, we don't throw away.
Wow.
Yes. It's either we donate them to people that make rugs.
Wow.
And then other people can, because sometimes you have like big pieces that are left over. People can just join them together, create a new top, whatever. So I donate them to people who could make use of them. We don't believe in throwing things away.
Yeah, exactly. So that's really good. Well done for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Nyasha, you started nATAI when your son was only 6 months old, and you've mentioned in a couple of interviews that you don't hesitate to ask for help. So has this always been the case, or has experience of motherhood impacted your overall outlook on getting assistance when you need it?
I think for me, motherhood plays a huge part in my role as an entrepreneur, as a designer. Because nATAI was actually named after my mother.
Wow.
She's a huge inspiration to my work. When I was younger, she actually used to work in the building opposite this one.
Really?
As a tailor. So she'd take me to work with her sometimes. So she was the first introduction that I had to fashion. Really? So this is kind of like a continuation of what she started, but just taking it to the next level. Yeah.
Wow. And so my question is, are you bringing your son to this place?
Sometimes I actually do bring him. Maybe now and then. But yes, I launched nATAI when my son was 6 months old. Because I remember just thinking, oh my goodness, there's a human that is depending on me. There's someone who is looking up to me and depending on me for survival. So I have to go out there and work. So from that day, I have shown up every day. And I put in the work because I just need to make sure that my family is comfortable.
Yeah, and talking about family, so I wanted to find out, because sometimes, as a woman and as an entrepreneur, it's really, really difficult to commit yourself to the business. You're wearing that many hats. You are a mom, you are an entrepreneur, you are everything, you are the designer, you have to make all these decisions. And for me, it's really important for us to highlight to other women who may want to be doing the same, to say, how do you do it? How do you find the balance? If ever you do, and if you don't, how do you work it?
So I'm lucky to have a very supportive, I have a good support system. So there are people who are always willing to jump in if I need a babysitter, if I need them to stay a couple of nights and watch my son. There are people who are always willing to help me. I know that other people do not have that luxury, and I feel like that really, the fact that I have the support system allows me to put in the time and effort that I do into nATAI, and that's why it's on the level it is now. Yeah. So it's not just me. There's a lot of people working in the background to give me the time and opportunity to do what I love. Because at the end of the day, it's not just for me, but it's for everyone, and it'll benefit all of us.
Absolutely. So behind a successful woman or entrepreneur is an amazing team, right?
Exactly.
It's an amazing support system.
Yes,
yeah, really important. Right, so starting a fashion brand, you are the designer, you are the stylist, you make everything from scratch. And trust me, I could imagine the resistance that you faced in the marketplace. Do you want to talk about that and how have you been navigating the environment?
I feel as if people have been very receptive. I think that people have been waiting for something like this.
Awesome.
Because I remember when we first started 3 to 4 years ago, there's a lot of stores that sell the same thing, and people were just waiting for something that would give them something different. So I feel like when I started nATAI, I didn't really get much resistance. I get a lot of support and encouragement from my clients, friends, family. So yeah, I think it ties into what I said about support system. So it flows to the clients as well. They're always sending me these encouraging messages, and I'm just like, wow, I'm so lucky to have people that that love to encourage me, even on days when I don't feel like, because being an entrepreneur is very hard.
Yeah.
There are days when it's so difficult to show up, but then you know that there's so many people rooting for you. Yeah, so definitely I haven't felt any resistance, just encouragement and support.
So really the message is for somebody who wants to start, right? Because it's very easy to ride on preconceived ideas, guys. And that's why I wanted to bring this point, because a lot of people will say, oh, I'm going to start this, and in Zimbabwe, and things are hard, and it's like this, and it's like, you've got all these excuses here that you never get to start, and only to realize that when you start, you're actually doing all right, right? There's actually somebody who needs this. So if you're listening on the show and you've been having an idea and you've been sitting on it, you need to jump on it, because there is somebody out there waiting for whatever you have, right? You have this thing and somebody wants it until you do it.
Exactly.
So is your story.
And you never know until you try.
Yeah.
If it just stays in your mind, you won't know. So just do it and show up every day, and then you'll start to see results.
Yeah, and when you look back, what would you say have been your biggest challenge, and what would you say would have been your biggest win?
I think one of the biggest challenges that I'm still experiencing right now has been trying to be more accessible to people outside of Zimbabwe.
Right.
I know that there are people interested in my products that are beyond our borders, but shipping costs are just ridiculously expensive. So that's something I'm still trying to figure out. Like, how do I work my way around this? So still working on that. Hopefully something happens soon. And then my win, I feel like just, the support that I'm getting.
Wow.
The clients that I get that are willing to spend the money that they spend on my clothes. Sometimes I'm just like, this is incredible.
Wow.
Like people love my products so much, and for me that is a win. And it encourages me to keep on giving them, more pieces that they'll love and appreciate.
And I think that sometimes maybe we are putting this show, right, this interview, this talk, this is going to put it out to the world, and you never know who's going to come. But I think that the world is a global marketplace now, and there are people who are out there who needs exactly what you have. It's just figuring the how. Exactly. How do we get nATAI onto Amazon? How do we get nATAI onto Etsy, onto Shopify, onto Google, onto everywhere? And as we do those baby steps, you will get there. So I'm sure somebody's listening. Hey guys, from Ghana, wherever you are, please be sure to buy the products from nATAI. And I think that on the point of looking at our wins, sometimes it's very easy for us not to appreciate the little that everybody else is putting. And I think you are amazing, because you're working from a place of gratitude all the time. And I think that gratitude just flows into everything that we are doing. So that's an amazing outlook to life that you have.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Nyasha, one of the challenges that you speak about is people getting to use your website for orders. Why do you think that was a challenge for you? And have you managed to overcome it yet?
I think that in Zimbabwe, in general, people are used to having a one-on-one shopping experience. They like that personal touch. So even though they know that I have a website, they prefer messaging me on iMessage or WhatsApp, because they know I'm just a text away. So even though I have this website with all this information, they'd rather just communicate with me directly. So I've really had to learn to kind of meet them in the middle and not try to force them to do something that they don't want to. So I allow people to order via text, and then I've created this order guide that redirects them to the website. So it kind of like trains them to start using the website, and then they can always just complete the order on WhatsApp. But the reason why I'm training them to use the website is so that they make quicker and more informed decisions, so that they don't have to wait for my response. So yes, I feel like in Zimbabwe, people love to, to talk to a human. The websites can feel a little inhuman, a little cold. So they want to know who they're talking to and if they can come to the studio and feel the fabrics. They just want that personal touch.
I think we all do, I really think so. But I think technology comes to help us in terms of the scale that you are talking about. Because if you are going to be scaling into, let's say, 12 countries to start with, that would become super hectic, right? So it's about understanding, I guess, the tools that are applicable to each demographic. And what I found with Zim is that WhatsApp is their number one method of communication, right?
Exactly.
So I think you are doing amazing with what you're doing with it. It's just trying to then look at other tools that you can still add onto your automation. You could automate some of the processes on your WhatsApp so that when a customer comes, you are redirecting them to the website, but you could have that chatbot in the background that could be automatically answering them on WhatsApp, and that will give them a feel that you're on the other side. And I think just adding on those tools. And then I also think that connectivity is an issue in Zim, right? Data is super expensive here. So I think, good website, brilliant and amazing, but understanding the needs of the marketplace. So I think WhatsApp is a good tool that you can add further investment into. I think it will work amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Like, data is very expensive in Zimbabwe. So I know there's data for WhatsApp. So someone might not have data to go on the website, but they have data to order on WhatsApp. So we really just have to meet in the middle. And then once I scale to other places, we just work with, a website or
understand what tools those markets, because I think there are so many tools that are coming up now, and it's just really investing in more of them, and I think you'll do amazing. So
thanks for the tip.
So what's your definition of success, and how would you measure it for yourself?
For me, success is being able to wake up every day and be able to do what I love, and just being able to share that joy with everyone around me. So this means that I would love to see my team live comfortably, just knowing that I'm able to help them live the lives that they dream of. Success for me is contributing to my community, to my local economies, and just building a legacy for my family. Absolutely. And my hope is that one day soon we'll be international, we'll be accessible to people from all over the world, and I think that will be the day I'll be like, yes, I've made it.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. I always say that as we live our lives, we are leaving a print, right, on the planet Earth. And I have always believed, and I'm a strong believer of a stronger purpose that is beyond the money or everything that we do. And I think the fact that we are also, remember, part of history, those who are coming ahead of us are going to have to feed off what we are doing now. So I think that's an amazing success definition, that as your team is growing and as they are becoming comfortable, their children and their children's, so it's impacting generations, really, that the work that you're doing. So thank you so much, Nyasha, for having me, and for all the hard work putting the outfit together, and for your time. I appreciate you're a busy woman, but I really appreciate, and I believe that this story is going to touch many lives, right?
Thank you for having me on your show, and I hope you enjoy your lovely outfits.
And I'll be waiting for my ticket to Zanzibar, madam. Yes. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, feel free to leave your questions, thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss any episode. Thank you so much to nATAI team, and you can find them on their social handles. They have got an Instagram account, they have got a website where you can place your orders, and I really hope that you support them and get these amazing pieces, and let's get Zimbabwe retail going. Thank you so much, guys. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye. Hey Nyasha, thank you so much for having me. Do you prefer Nyasha or Cheryl?
Cheryl.
Cheryl.
Or Nyasha.
Nyasha,
is easier to remember.
I think Nyasha is easier because Cheryl.
Yes.
I remember Cheryl from X Factor. Oh, that's it. When you do to camera, okay, so
This interview is making me so emotional.
thank you so much for all your hard work. It looks good and it's so comfortable. Thank you. All right, okay.
So you're
So-
bringing up the outfit again. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So thank you so much, I was going to call it Tanya.
Who's Tanya?
Didn't come Tanya.
You'll be calling her all day. Who's Tanya?